Well, hello there, guys. Today we're taking a look at the Warfare Legacy Collection. Now, for those of you that have been around a long time, you'll probably remember this from sites like Newgrounds.com. There was this fascinating game called Warfare. It's a World War I sort of game. I wouldn't call it I wouldn't call it squad based, but we're gonna see what it's like. It's a lot of fun. I want you guys to experience the carnage, the bloodshed, the action. You can actually take a look at the demo right now, currently on Steam. So if you want to go take a look, make sure to look for Warfare Legacy Collection. And please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the video. Well, that's enough talk. Let's jump into the game. So first of all, we do need to advance across a vast front, and there is a World War I version as well as a World War II version of the game. Additionally, you can upgrade units over here with a lot of different bonuses. As you can see, over time, we're even going to be getting some tanks. But for now, we want to get right into the action. All right, guys, so there's any number of ways to play the game. The goal is, of course, to cross that battlefield and get to the enemy trench or break their morale in doing so. And I know you're looking at this and thinking, man, this looks really old school. And that's because, A, it is, but B, trust me, it gets better. Number one, the atmosphere is fantastic. But once you start seeing the bodies flying around, the bullets whizzing by, you're going to understand what I'm talking about. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and get another MG team. We're going to have 2 on duty just for this initial attack. Enemy's got a Maxim trained right at us, so I want to get rid of that. And we are going to try to cross this field. Of course, it's always easier to do that with some assault teams. These guys have the grenades we need to get through the enemy trench, and they're pretty vicious troops. Let's go ahead and push through. And as you can see right there, we do get fire support, and over time, you can start unlocking additional fire support, including but not limited to deadly poisonous gas. So let's go ahead, guys. We're going to make a concerted push. I'm going to bring in another assault team. I'm keeping the MG back for now. But let's go ahead. We're going to use that mortar again. Probably don't need to because that guy's pretty screwed. And this might end up being a friendly fire situation. But we're going to grab 2 more assault teams and push through. Look at the carnage, man. The carnage is just vicious in this game. I love it. Especially for the time when these games started first coming out on Newgrounds.com. They were just so much fun. And you can see the morale blip up there in the upper, or the top corner, I should say. Or the very center of the page. Which gives you an indicator of morale. It gives you an indicator of how much land we've taken. And the goal really is to push through and get to the enemy trench. If you can do that, well, you've got yourself a victory. You can see enemy morale is already quite low. That's one way to beat the enemy, is just simply through a morale loss. And depending on how well you do, we're going to unlock additional skills, abilities, weapons, you name it. Keep fighting, boys. You've almost got it. At this point, we could go ahead and push, but we're not even pushing to the final trench, simply because we're just trying to kill them with numbers at this point. In fact, go ahead, call in a mortar strike to see if we can't deplete that enemy morale entirely. They're actually holding up quite well, man. They're sending a lot of their men in for this assault. Might need to send just some basic infantry to kind of overwhelm them with numbers. Or we let them attack us and we waste their morale. I think that's what we're going to do. We're just going to set up for a defense and then we'll have a push after. So the goal now is to get another infantry team out there. I was going to say another MG, but I think an infantry team will do wonders as well. Here we go, guys. And let's see if we can't completely break that morale with this final push. There we go, guys. Look at those hands going up. A wonderful surrender, and victory is ours. And then we go over here.
Gas is now at our disposal. Ugly business, but be sure the Germans will be using it as well.
And that's right, we can unlock devastating mustard gas, and we're going to do so. We can also increase some things for our own soldiers. There's a bunch of different skills that you could, of course, unlock. In this case, I think we need to increase the damage of our rifles, and maybe also increase our defense. Just make our guys a little bit stronger, give them better helmets, maybe a really light flak vest, and let's go in for battle number 2. Battle for the Yellow Cross. Here we go, guys, and as you can see, now we've got some sharpshooters, Sharpschützen, if you're German, and I'm going to go ahead, keep them here, and play a little bit more defensively, just to see what happens on this particular push. As you can see now, there are 2 trenches and quite a lot of barbed wire blocking our path, so we need to take a little bit of a different approach. I want to go ahead and get a nice machine gun team. After that, we're going to get an officer, and then march right into battle. Now, as you can see, he gives a damage bonus, but of course his goal is not to go charging across a trench like a standard infantry unit. Quite different. But since the trench is full, any unit that we get past this point is going to run right over the trench. So we're going to try and cause as much damage to the enemy first. Maybe bring in some mortars and start firing away. Let's try and drop them directly on the trench. In fact, we can also do the same with the gas. And we're going to call in our own infantry, as well as some assault troops to start charging. Look at that. They have no choice. They've got to leave that trench. As you can see, they're pushing on us too, so you know what? All bets are off. Let's go. Officers and all, we're going to go for a full-on push. I would not recommend this at all. The officer is still alive, incredibly, guys. He's still pushing, and we've got a precision strike. I'm dropping it right on the enemy. It's a huge use of resources, but if we can take this trench, it makes it all the more worthwhile. Look at that. I expect some friendly fire here for sure. Oh, yeah, boys. Keep your heads down. The officer is going. We all have to go. What we can do in the meantime is try to strengthen our second wave. So let's push forward. Push forward with the machine guns. Incredibly, man, the officer is really making me want to go officer going forward, because it gives just a huge morale boost there. Let's go ahead. We're going to drop some mortars right on top of them. Enemy morale is low. That's the message we like to see. But I want to try to get another officer. And of course, let's use some of that devastating gas, guys. We know it's pretty evil, but this is war. Go for an assault team as well to start pushing the enemy trench. And we'll have the officer follow closely behind. As you can see, they are unleashing devastating fire against us, but the enemy is at their breaking point, man. Actually going to go ahead and send them in forward, the boys forward for an attack. And there we go, guys. The enemy has surrendered. You gotta love it. It's just so much damn fun. I also like the screen at the end giving the stats. That's just perfect, as you can see.
Mark IV tanks have rolled off the production line. Be sure to support them with infantry.
You heard that right. We're going to be dealing with tanks now, guys. So the only thing we can unlock for that right now is going to be the heavy mortars. And of course, we're going to be launching our own Mark IV tanks into battle. Can we get a victory? I'm not sure. One huge tactical element of the game is, do you wait to get an additional tank, or do you go ahead and start getting infantry? The fact is, if you buy infantry too early, the whole production line is going to reset, and you're going to have to wait a lot longer for that follow-up tank. So that's something to keep in mind. I'm thinking I'm going to wait for tank number 2. Might be a mistake. Maybe I should be going and focusing on infantry, but I'm going to try to get that second Mark IV and also get some mortar strikes on the enemy tank to try and damage it a bit. And again, while the game is not graphically, that appealing initially, I promise you that when these tanks start exploding, the bodies start flying, the artillery's coming in, I just think it's fantastic. Here we go. Now, the main gun can be damaged. A lot of other things can be damaged as well. That's something to keep in mind. Going to bring in that other Mark IV. And actually, I'm going to drop the mortars on the infantry. Now, the reason for that is assault infantry, so it's actually damaging our tank just being around. Going to go ahead and push it, and we're going to bring in our own assault infantry. Kind of trying to beat the enemy at their own game, as it were. But look at that. Secondary gun disabled, the tank destroyed. It's a tough fight with the Mark IV, guys. Might want to even bring in an officer at this point. All right, let's do another... no, let's bring in the officer. Let's do the officer. I think it might be crazy, but we're going to go for it. We did just destroy the enemy tank. I want to get another Mark IV, of course, if we can. But we'll get another assault team instead of waiting for an additional tank. Let's do that, and we're going to call in a strike on the enemy position here. Heavy artillery strike. Look at that. It's working out quite well for us. And yes, the officer is giving a bonus, man, even to the tank. Oh, no, just to the infantry. Nonetheless, look at that enemy morale. It's breaking. I'm going to bring in just standard infantry. But I think at this point we need to wait for more armor. And I'm throwing everything I can at the German armor at this point. I'll even throw basic mortars at it. Whatever we can use. There we go, boys. A nice little victory. Absolutely beautiful. Enemy has surrendered.
Listen up, boys. Now, it's come to my attention that you so-called officers need a refresher on the finer points of land warfare. I don't have all...
Seems a little different, doesn't it, guys? And that's because there's also a World War II element to this Legacy collection. How cool is that? So... we've got a different approach for this particular game. I haven't played it much as opposed to the first one. But I guess the idea being, you've got three sort of different lanes you can go down to deal with the enemy. It's totally up to you, of course. And got to try and, of course, you know, break through. Same rules apply with the tanks and all that. You do unlock them as the game progresses. This one is a little more challenging tactically, I think. For instance, we've got an enemy MG team right there. And as you can see, it's going to cause absolute havoc amongst our men until we destroy it. So I'm going to wait to see if I can get an assault team and push on through. We might get a lucky shot, but it's unlikely, as you can see there. Get another infantry team right down the middle. And please do let me know what you think in the comments of the game. Is it something you would play? Have you ever played it before the earlier iterations of it, or is this the first time you've ever even seen this game? I really am curious. As you can see, they could push from the top as well, so we could be in a little bit of a pickle here. What is pickle in German? That's what I want to know. We go more infantry. We're just trying to overload them with infantry. We're doing this Soviet approach here. And what I'm really trying to do is wipe out that MG team right there in the middle, man. Here we go. He's down. I think we have a chance to push, guys. Morale is a little more on our side, but we're not doing great. Let's get our own 30 cal right down the middle. It's almost certainly going to be a victory there. And I love the voice acting. Just like, it's very simple, but very cool. It gets the point across. There we go, guys. We have broken through across the bridge. That is a victory. And much like the previous iteration of the game, we've got a nice casualty list here, and we can unlock additional upgrades.
Germans are said to be moving their armor and infantry through this town. Use your bazooka teams to ambush the convoy and destroy the enemy armor.
All right, guys. So now we got to focus on destroying armor. And there's all sorts of different unlocks here, as you can see, including air support unlocks for your officers, the ability to call in artillery barrages. For that, we need 2 points. And we'll also go ahead and give our units some grenades. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed so far what you've seen of the Warfare Legacy Collection. Again, you can check it out yourself on the Steam store for free, just a demo. And please do like, comment, and subscribe. If you really want to help this channel out hugely, I almost said unit there for a moment. Consider hitting the thanks button, throwing a few bucks my way, or becoming a member like the awesome Bustava and Dave Zizou. We really do need to get our membership up on the channel, and it would absolutely incentivize me to release videos on a more regular basis. Thanks so much, guys. Take care. I'll catch you on the next one.